Welcome to Blog to Your Talent. This is lesson 31, and we are on the topic of new blogger mistakes. One of the mistakes that you can make as a beginner in your talent and as a beginner blogger is that you can try to pack in too many important points. This is very similar to the other mistakes we talked about, making a post too long. And this one is about putting too many important points about your talent in one post.
As this kind of, like if you go on vacation and you want to tell the person that you're talking to that you went to the amusement park and you went canoeing and you went up to the mountains, and are you saying that just trying to pack too much in one blog post is just too overwhelming for the reader?
It does not belong in a blog post. That sounds like a good school essay.
Yeah.
To try to put all that in there about your vacation.
Or a whole book. If you
or a
want to
whole
write
book.
Okay.
So really, in that case, if you were to talk about that example, you would just talk about the canoeing aspect and you stick to that. Now, it doesn't mean, by the way, I'm not saying that you should not talk about all those other important points. You should, but they should be turned into a separate blog post on each of those important points. Again, the purpose of your blog is to make it easy for your readers to get the information they need, and then by the way, when you are going to be focused on one important point, it's going to help you as a beginner to stay relevant and accurate. One of the dangers as a beginner is that you will try to say too much. You'll be way out of your league, and your other readers who are a little more advanced than you will notice that.
And it's a natural post that you write. If you've studied just one aspect of photography and you only write about that one aspect without everything else that might kind of sort of apply, you kind of show yourself as being a little bit more expert because you have focused on just one thing.
Exactly. So what you want to do is stay on one topic for each post. You can have a few minor subpoints to explain it, but you got to make sure that you have one point that you're trying to make. So for this one, what I'd like you to do is take action by listing on a piece of paper 5 key skills that you know at this point in time someone who is going to be good in your field of talent needs to have. So
Okay.
5 key points. And this is a little bit of a tricky one. You'll see in the instructions that I explained to you that even though these are 5 key skills, which you would think these are 5 different topics, as a matter of fact, that's all I want you to do is just list the 5 key skills in a bullet format and not provide too much more information. So the point here is, the one main point is there's a short list that a beginner could come to on your site and say, okay, these are the 5 skills that I would have to get involved in if I want to become good at this talent.
And they can be different, or you want them to be, this is like a brainstorm?
Yeah, it's like a brainstorm.
Okay. So this is a list. This is a bullet list. It's a brainstorm. This is where you can have, if it's related to cooking, you could have, one could be sauteing, one could be baking, one could be, so it's going to be 5 different types of skills.
5 different types of key skills
Okay.
that you think your field of talent needs in order to become very good at that.
But you're not going to develop each bullet
No.
in your list as, right, in this post you won't go on to explain long sentences about each of those.
Yeah, and as a beginner, you're going to love this. Well, you may or may not like that, depending on your personality, but it's going to be good for you because it's going to force you to really think big picture. These are a great way to break out of a funk if you're writing on something very complicated. Just narrow it down to 5 key points and put it in a bullet list.
In fact, this skill, if I can say real quick, this skill is a good thing to have if you develop just a writer's block. You know you have your half-hour set time to blog, and maybe you stayed up too late last night and you're having a hard time coming up with your words and your sentences. But by doing a list like this, use that opportunity to say, you know what, I don't have to try to sound just excellent in my writing. I just need to do a brainstorm. So having a list, it will make it so much easier later. You can come back to this list, choose one of them, and say, okay, now I know what to write about. So this is a good way to, when you're not quite you're kind of foggy when you wake up and you want to you're not sure what to do, you have just a brainstorm list, and then later on you come back and develop each of these into its own separate blog post.
Exactly. All right, so this is the end of this lesson, and we will see you on the next one. Until then, happy talent journey.